So we're gonna start with the review sheet that we started last Thursday before the first water quiz. So on here, we already did the bottom of the front and the entire back. If somebody doesn't have that, I'll put it up here now, but what I'll let you do is just get a copy of it. I'll let you take a picture of mine, I guess is what I'm trying to say at the end here if you don't have it now. So that would be the 4 on the front should be done already. And all of them on the back should be done as well. So now we just have the 6 on the front that are blank still. And I'm hoping you guys can tell me answer all of these right now. So let's start with, what are the 4 factors that affect climate? Give me one of them. I'm gonna go around the room. One thing that'll affect your climate? Should I start with Destiny instead? Probably. And what about your location? You're right, but what about it? Think about lab. What about it? Where you are compared to the equator. Okay, that's your latitude. Latitude is probably the biggest factor that will control your climate. Sarah, you got another one? Yep, so your elevation. So if you're on the top of a mountain, it's colder. All right, Jeff, now that you're back into it, can you think of another one that'll affect the climate? So we've got latitude and elevation so far. What's going to control the weather? So what controls the climate of different areas? Where you are, your latitude, wind patterns. Yep. Easy. And one more. Do you remember it? Yeah, it's how close you are to a body of water. I call that nearness. Sorry, I ran out of space. Nearness to a large body of water. I actually forgot some. I don't know why I only asked for 4. Don't forget that, yeah, ocean currents. And then don't forget also your topography, which is if you're on the windward or leeward side of the mountain. And we're going to go through some of those in more details here below. So latitude, elevation, the wind patterns, the nearness to a large body of water, ocean currents, and topography will control the climate of any area. So what do we say about how does latitude affect our climate? Yep, so you guys know that in general, how far north or south of the equator? Let's put those in a little more sciencey words. When you're close to the equator, what's your latitude? Okay, so the equator is 0. So I want to say lower latitudes. What do we know about the lower latitude? Yep, they're going to be warmer. I guess we should probably add that means they're close to the equator. And then how do we say close to the poles then? Higher latitudes. All right. I'll let you guys finish writing. What effect does being near a large body of water have on the temperature range? Notice I underlined range. I'm not just saying the temperature. Here, maybe this will help if we go to the second part. Near large bodies of water, locations near large bodies of water, they have warmer what? Warmer winters. And cooler. Yep. Warmer winters, cooler summers. Now, does that make for a bigger temperature range or a smaller temperature range? Okay, so I like to think of it if you were talking about like on a thermometer. So we're going to have an imaginary thermometer here. If you have warmer winters and cooler summers, that shrinks the range. Yes, that's a smaller temperature range. And those large bodies of water are both lakes and oceans will do that. On top of being near having that smaller temperature range, oceans will also control, ocean currents will control whether it is warmer or colder in the area. So I'm asking you, the East Australian current is a blank ocean current. I want to know, is that a warm ocean current or a cold ocean current? And here's a question. How do you know? You got to look at your reference table. Somebody a couple periods ago said to me, oh, Australia's warm, so it must be warm. Is that accurate? Yeah, that's not it. Right. I'm looking for a reference table. I guess I'm going to have to use my... Yeah, well, I want to put it on the screen because I am recording right now. And I do have people who watch it, believe it or not. Like Caden's going to watch it right now. Everybody say hi to Caden. Hi, Caden. All right. So again, just double checking. No meowing, Sarah. All right. Here's Australia. Again, you can't just say, well, Australia is warmer than us. You have to look at the actual current. The East Australian current is a black arrow. The West Australian current is a white arrow. And now my key is ripped, but hopefully yours is all set. The black one is warm. The white one is cool. So what do we... I just did this one. Okay, it's warm. Now you guys go find the rest. Only 2 more there. You are going to need your reference tables for Kahoot anyway. Oh, sure. I'll put mine up there. There you go. But you will need one for the Kahoot game anyway. Are you sure? North Equatorial. I want everybody to find it though. So part of the problem with this stuff is searching the reference table for the names. Obviously, if we have North Equatorial, where do you think you're looking for that? Probably in the north and near what though? The equator. So north of the equator, perhaps. There's the equator, there's the North Equatorial current, and it is warm. Now the Peru current, where do you think that is? By Peru. Now here's the dilemma. Not all of us know where Peru is. South America. South America does exist. Here's South America right here. Wait, I lost it. There's South America. I can't. Well, no, I do know where it is, but you literally can't see it on the screen here. I can see it. I can see it right there, but you can't see it on the screen. But anyway, yeah, the Peru current is a white arrow, which is cool. So this one was warm. And this one is cool. Ah, nerd. All right, what about this next one? How do we figure out if the equator has blank pressure and if it has a blank climate? Where the heck are we gonna look for that? Flip through your, do that. Yeah, don't use your brain. That's dumb. Guys. Okay, so that's cool if some of you can memorize it, but I would not even trust your brains to memorize this because it's really easy just to get it tangled up in there. What page are you got? What did you find it on? 14. Everybody turn to page 14. No, I don't want to. There we go. Page 14. It does not tell me if it's high or low on here. You should know something. You should not know it off the top of your head. Okay, that's one way. High, dry, cool, and clear. Or, of course, you guys are forgetting about farts because the farts come out of your butt. I want you to remember it.
No, I think this is what we're talking about.
Okay, that might be it. That's it.
Girls Park guys, don't they?
My daughter cannot believe I talk about farts in class. She's like, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
It'll be super embarrassing now when I tell her I told you guys this and I'm putting it on the internet. Okay, anyway. I'll explain it to you next period, Lisa. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I'm giving you high pressure to low pressure. So the equator is low pressure. Or you could go with what Sarah said, high, dry, cool, and clear. So low and wet. Or just look at the arrows that they're pointing to the equator. So the equator has low pressure. And I want to know, does it have a wet or dry climate? Again, how did you know? It's labeled wet. All right, finish the rest of them. You finished them all already? Oh, and it started raining again. Nice. That's almost sticker worthy. Yeah, you know, this has not been the best year for sports season.
Oh, football was pretty good.
Okay, not the spring sports season. Here you go, Carter.
My house hasn't had any.
All right, what do you got? What's the 60 degrees north? Low. Low. Low and wet. 30 south. You think? Yeah, you're right. And dry. 90 is also high and dry. All right, one more. Oh, the windward side of the mountain. This one can be tricky. Okay, so let me remind you how this works. So if we have a mountain and the wind is blowing this way. Hey guys, does the wind always have to blow from that way? No, because you could have a mountain and the wind could blow from this way. With this mountain, what's this side called? This is the windward. What's the other side called? Good job. Okay. Windward side, what happens when the wind hits it? Goes up. What happens to air when it goes up? Well, it does stop at the top, but what happens to temperature? It gets colder when you go up a mountain. Now what, guys, wait, why does it get colder when you go up a mountain? Okay, but what does that do? So let's talk about the individual molecules. They go up. And what do they do when they expand? So they go up. Okay, the warm air goes up, or air goes up because it's less dense. That means they're spreading out. When those molecules spread out, just like if you spread out, you would cool down. So you cool down because you're expanding. So the air hits the mountain, goes up, expands, cools down. What happens after it cools down? Not yet. But why does it get wet? Okay, okay, so I guess maybe what I'm getting at, there's a word you're missing. So the air goes up, cools, hits its dew point, condenses, yep, hits its dew point. You did say it? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay, air goes up, cools, hits its dew point, water droplets form. So it's rainy on this side. It is wet. It is cool and wet on this side. The other side of the mountain. So it's all raining here. It rains all its rain out. So it's going to be dry on this side. Hi. Okay, so it's going to be dry, and is it going to be warmer or colder on this side of the mountain? Yeah, it's going to be warmer. So this side's gonna be a desert. This side's going to be wet and cool. How about this mountain? How does it change now? It just flips. This side is the windward side. And everything is the same. So it's going to be cool and wet here. This side's going to be the leeward side. So this side's dry and warm. The reason I did both of these, how will you tell which is which? So you got to look to see where the wind's coming from. So always, before you answer questions about windward and leeward side of the mountains, double check which side has the wind. Everything else the same. Windward is wet and cool. All right. So to answer this side, the windward side of the mountain is usually colder and more. I was going for wet. It was not it, but
I feel like we like growing up and having really towards.
I'm sorry. That's that. Did everybody do your homework? That's what I thought. Okay, I did expect you all to do your homework. There were a couple things on there that might. Let's start on the back, or you guys already open to the other page. It doesn't matter. All right, you're open, or Jeff's open, so we're going here. The climate at 90 north is dry because the air at that location. Why is it dry? Is the air warm or cool? 90 north, dude. What's that place? See, that's the North Pole, right? Huh?
Pretty cold.
Yeah, it's pretty cold there. Oh, okay, it's pretty cold there. And what kind of air sinks? I'm sorry, what kind of yes, cold air sinks. So cool air doesn't rise. The other way of checking is that it's dry here, but it's also the arrows are coming out of it. Arrows are coming out of it. So is it high pressure, low pressure? I won't mention farts because I know you guys don't like talking about it.
Farts.
Yes, we can speed up. So this is going to be high, which means the air is sinking. The curvedness is due to the Earth's rotation. And this one, you had to use your reference table. The answer is 12, but it's 12 which one? It is 12 kilometers. Do not fall for their trick and hit, just click the or not click, circle. All right, this one is talking about amount of precipitation. You match that up with the reference table. The equator should be wet. The poles should be dry. So right off the bat, equator wet, poles dry. The only one that even fits. These last two, location E, it's down here with a high temperature and a low humidity. So that's warm and dry. And then chemical weathering. Quick, what's the best climate for chemical weathering? D, warm and wet.
Evaporation.
Okay, X is evaporation.
Water vapor to liquid.
Okay, I want more though. Okay. Okay, so what happens to the air? But how? What has to happen for condensation to happen? Air. No, it doesn't. Okay, so does condensation have to happen when air rises? It doesn't say clouds. So air cools. Then what? Hits its dew point. And then that's when the gas turns to liquid. One service condition that would allow runoff to occur. There's a bunch. There's a bunch. So frozen ground. That would be one. Or impermeable. ground. So give me an example of impermeable ground.
Um, uh,
What?
um,
Pavement,
yeah.
tightly packed soil, unsorted soil. Those are very low permeability or impermeable. Give me some more though.
I'm sorry.
No, we already covered that with the impermeable.
Does describe.
I know, but there's different answers. We already did that one. No. Give me some more. What kind of slope?
Oh, I already had that one.
That's the one you had? Steep? Good. Yeah, you should have. And then don't forget, this is the one you guys seem to forget if it's raining. What about raining? More than infill. Plants, how do plants affect
Transfer.
they do transpiration. They absorb and transfer. And wait, I know I told you guys to skip 41, but now I want to make sure you understand it.
Got it.
Oh, I didn't tell you to?
That's basically.
That's not it. But you're close.
Calories.
Okay, water freezing. I lied, you're right.
Wait, the answer is 3, 3, 4.
It is. So I don't think I've shown you guys this. Okay, I'm showing it to you now. Carter, I've never shown you this yet. I'm showing it to you now. It's a teachable moment. Pay attention. Because you were like one person who was definitely not making eye contact. Okay, properties of water. We have looked at this before when we saw the density. But these 4 bullets are stuff that they very rarely ask you about, but I want to make sure you see that they're here. If we melt something, if I had a block of ice here, what would I have to do to melt it? Heat it up. I'd have to add heat, right? So that's why it says heat energy gained. So I'm adding energy to melt something. How much energy, you ask? Well, that's 334 joules. Remember, joules are just a unit of measurement for energy. So I need you to remember this is here. If it says gained, that means you have to add heat to it. So then if we freeze something, if I had a cup of water, how do I freeze it? Do I add heat or take heat away from it? I gotta make it cold. If I'm making it cold, I gotta take the heat from it. So again, that's why it says release during freezing. And yes, there's a number to go with it, 334 joules per gram. Vaporization, taking liquid and vaporizing it, turning it into a gas. To do that, if I have liquid and I need to make it a gas, I have to add heat. In fact, 2,260 joules. Notice it's a lot more.
Yeah.
And then to condense it, remember, it has to cool, right? Air has to cool, hit its dew point, so I gotta take the heat from it. How much? 2,260. Just wanna point that out that it's there. I'll tell you, there's one question on the test tomorrow about it.
Oh.
So did everybody pay attention? Okay, it's there. No fancy math. You just have to remember it's there. All right, grab your electronic devices and let's Kahoot it up. Kahoot it up. Kahoot it up. What? What are you not understanding? It's only 22 questions long. One question's identical, so there's that. You want bonus points?
Miss Red, come on.
Freaking, where are those guys checking my IT? I need them. I have, your guess is, yeah, they looked up there. Your guess is as,
Stare up into the sky and.
yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I've also never met the one person, so not a little suspicious at all. Yes, me too.
And like mine.
Yeah, he's basically our go-to computer help.
Because I take my computer down and he'd be like, I don't know how to do that.
But he knows how to ask and what to do. So don't have to know everything off the top of your head. You just need to know where to look and how to look at stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is everybody there? That's not 8 of you. All right, there's one more. Who's not in yet? Oh, of course it is. Okay, I'm hitting go. All right, you might need your reference tables for some of these. Sorry, the game is just called that. Because I changed it up a little bit. Which process will most likely cause a rise in the water table? So we want the water table to go up. Just saying. Oh, did you really need me to show you which way up was?
Read it out loud.
Oh. Okay, remember guys, the water table is underground. And if we want it to go up, it means it's going closer to the surface. That means you gotta add water to go closer to the surface. But which current is responsible for the warmer climate on the east coast of North America? Woo. Oh, or it's right there on the picture. The East Coast. What do you need to have time? Okay, again, East Coast of North America. The big deal there is to know which way's east. Here's North America. This is east. Never eat. So it should be the Gulf Stream. Yep, Gulf Stream. Notice the California. I'm glad none of you picked the California. You did get it right. Which location has the greater average daily temperature range? And its only answer is A or B. We want the greater. Oh, I'm sorry, was it C or B? C or B. My mistake. There's a different one that's A or B. Greater difference.
If you really feel to fill in all the places that are.
That would be cool. I didn't do that. But that's an idea for another test. It does. My daughter's teacher gives them a quiz on their homework that he only checks like I do. Guys, I think we need to talk about this one. Greater temperature difference. So we got B or C. What's just the difference between B and C? Well, not closer to what? Yes, it is the right, but no. B or C. C is closer to the ocean. So yes, B is closer to the mountains, but that doesn't count as that's not it. That's definitely not it. It's too far from the mountains for it to be a thing. So B and C, C is closer to the ocean. Remember, oceans make it have warmer winters and cooler summers, so a smaller temperature range at sea. Nice. The process of transpiration and evaporation are represented by which letters? Evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation and transpiration were C and A. Evaporation's coming out of the lake or ocean, whatever it was, and transpiration's out of plants. Which ocean current carries cool water towards the equator? Out of those four, which one carries cool water towards the equator? What? Guys, I feel like you're my own children, telling me not to do embarrassing things.
Because you're embarrassing yourself.
I'm not. I'm not embarrassed, not even a little.
You talk about barking your dancing in class.
Oh, I don't just do them in class. Like, yeah, last week was my daughter's gymnastic tournament. Anytime a good song came on, I was jamming. I have some freaking lutely. There is video evidence. Yeah, dutters. I equal. Which letter is what's represented by F? Oh no, no, you're not. I'll be there. Even when they were out on the floor, when they would hear my favorite songs come up, they would definitely give me the side eye. Yeah. Compared to location C, the climate at location D is most likely. Don't forget to check. I told you. Hey, don't do that tomorrow. Check to see which way. Oh.
That's crazy.
All right.
Look at me.
So location D is over on the windward side. So D is going to be cooler and wetter. And my point has been proven. Yes, you were rushing today. I will give you that. But do not rush tomorrow. Double check the pictures to see where the wind is coming from. So D should be cooler and wetter, or in this case, speaking of, do you guys know the fancy word for dry? No, for dry. Arid. That's a vocab word. Okay. And you worry about me embarrassing myself. Not sure how what you did was less embarrassing than me dancing. We'll do this as our last one. As snow cover on the land melts, the water will most likely become run up is the land is. We want runoff. Oh. Okay, point proven. Please don't rush tomorrow. We want runoff. Did you know? If the ground is frozen, we will have runoff. All right, so please do not rush tomorrow. Guys, make sure you review some of the tricky stuff.